Latest data dumped by Wikileaks. One exchange in these emails shows Clinton ally and her campaign chairman allegedly clashing over the infamous email server. The purported conversation took place between Neera Tanden and John Podesta. In it, Tanden allegedly writes the subject, "I highly recommend," followed by she, meaning Clinton, "start making some other more positive news soon." Podesta sarcastically responds, "Yeah, that's great advice. Really?" He allegedly continued, calling out several Clinton staffers, saying, "Speaking of transparency, our friends David Kendall, Cheryl Mills, and Philippe Reines sure weren't forthcoming on the facts here. All three worked at the State Department with Clinton." Tanden allegedly added, "This is a Cheryl special. You know you love her. No, you love her, but this stuff is like her Achilles heel or kryptonite. She just can't say no to this," followed by an expletive. Tanden later allegedly asked why Clinton's team didn't get information about the server out sooner before allegedly responding, "I guess I know the answer. They wanted to get away with it." Again, emails have not been independently authenticated by NBC News. The Clinton campaign and U.S. intelligence officials have continued to blame Russia for the hacking of these alleged emails. And it looks like some people wanted to do the right thing, but it's always too late. I don't know.
I don't know. You see an internal battle between Hillary Clinton's old guard and people like Podesta and Robbie Mook and others who want transparency.
Yeah, this is nothing new.
Who want transparency
in the Clinton universe. This is nothing new. Neera Tanden's, missive supposedly to Podesta about Cheryl Mills and a group of people around Hillary Clinton for 15, 20, 25 years. Their idea is to hide things, to obstruct anybody from finding out things. If they had dumped this email story out 2 years ago, it wouldn't be hounding her every single day. Every single day.
Yeah, the question is...
And when they did actually I'm sorry, but there was this big press conference, and I just remember it was sort of the most offensive.
It's horrible.
The speeches, the Wall Street speeches. I've seen portions of a transcript of one of the speeches. You know what's contained in it? You come away realizing, oh, she really actually knows how the real economy works.
I thought that too. When I finally read a portion, I thought, oh,
that's all.
She will
Why
actually
not get them out? This paranoia about it just...
Oh,
that's what they spend their 30 years. How ironic that they've been fearing the WikiLeaks releases and saying, oh, the Russians are not. Well, I'm sure the Russians are involved in it. But the great irony at the end of it is, you read everything that Podesta's been sending around, and you're left thinking. I mean, and I'm sure there's something out there where he says, he kicks dogs and then eats them for dinner. So I'm sorry if there's something I haven't read. I apologize. But it makes me think Podesta's a straight shooter.
And Robbie Mook.
Campaign-wise, these people want her to be more transparent. They want her to stop acting the way she's going to act. Podesta's saying basically, hey, listen, if my integrity is going to be questioned, if I'm setting myself up for this, then I'm out. And they all are as dumbfounded as I am and as a lot of Americans are on why Cheryl Mills is allowed to continue to circle around Hillary Clinton and basically make all of the bad judgment calls, play into all of her worst instincts, and make everybody else's job around the campaign harder.
And on top of what Podesta said about Cheryl Mills, you had the other day Robbie Mook's email where he says to Podesta in an email, I'm not playing this game. Yeah. I'm not doing this secretive stuff. So if you want to do it, go ahead, but I'm not going to be a part of it. But it's interesting, as Nicole said earlier, we're getting now an open look at what we assume was happening inside the campaign, which is that most of the campaign felt the way the rest of the world was. It was dumb to have a private server, and it was dumb not to get out and apologize for it.
And it's always, and here's what, we're talking about staff because it's sort of like inside the palace intrigue. But here's the story. The story is the candidate. She chooses who to surround herself with. So to the degree that questions about whether it'll be the enablers, and it's not just what they do, it's their instincts. They reinforce her instinct for secrecy. So it's interesting. Most people in America will never know who Cheryl Mills is, but it's what it tells you about the candidate. Right. And if she sides with the people who reinforce her worst instincts, it says something ominous about the beginning of her presidency.
And have kept this election close. If Clinton world looks at the advice that Cheryl Mills and Kendall and Philippe Reigns have given her over the years, and then look at where she sits today as less trusted and perceived less honest than Donald J. Trump? John Podesta and Robbie Mook wouldn't have gotten you in that position. Cheryl Mills did.
Right. The narrowness of this election, even at this point in some states, and the contentiousness about the WikiLeaks email drops and the email server itself prove the dangers, potentially fatal, of an overly protective palace guard. It's just,
exactly.
You know, your duty to a candidate or a president, I would think, would be to tell the president the bad news first. Here's the bad news, Mr. President, or Madam President, or the candidate. The bad